Sasha Washington and Faith Duke to tip, and into the hands of Vanderbilt it goes.
Florida going to start out in a man-to-man defense, but Vanderbilt does a pretty good job of executing offensively to get the shots they want, but they got to take care of the ball against this pressure.
Yeah, Zippy Broughton being really aggressive with her defense right now. And Ayana Moore is going to be called for the foul, offensive foul. Well, for Florida, okay, we told you who's coming off the bench, but who's starting this game? You see the starting five: Zippy Broughton, Aaliyah Matharu. They make this program go. There's Zippy, the dump off to Faith Duke inside.
And Duke has terrific hands, good size inside. If she can make an impact inside, that would be huge for the Gators.
Vanderbilt's got the veteran in Jordan Cambridge, but they've got the rookie in Camille Pierre, an SEC All-Freshman team member.
And Pierre is a freshman that doesn't play like one. She's so composed. But when she gets the basketball, Courtney, we're going to see her make moves to the basket, and you go, that's not a freshman.
Yeah,
it's just too easy, right?
Ayana Moore with the triple. She was a second-team All-SEC selection. Up and in for Aaliyah Matharu.
Look, Matharu started the game getting a charge, got going defensively, then scoring. The Commodores need to watch out because Matharu is one of those players, when things start going well early, she can take over a ball game.
She is pesky. She will annoy a team. Cambridge driving short on the lay-in.
Here comes Matharu again.
All kinds of traffic, no problem.
I'm telling you, when she gets locked in, gets in a rhythm, she is hard to stop. Number 2 in orange.
But the key is she's got to stay out of foul trouble because they need her on the floor. Ayana Moore, no. There's Camille Pierre, and she is fouled. Kelly Rae Finley in her 3rd season. They made the NCAA tournament in 2022, went to the WNIT last year. Got a win over Missouri yesterday, 66-60. And Jariah Warren was whistled for her first foul that puts Camille Pierre at the free throw line. Shea Ralph also in her 3rd year, and you can just tell, shoot around, this Vanderbilt team, they love playing for Shea Ralph.
When you talk to Shea Ralph, you understand why she was the great player that she was, because it's the mentality that is demonstrated with the successful programs at Connecticut. You're about business. You come in, you do the work, you enjoy the process. You don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. You take care of today, and you can rely on your teammates.
Shea Ralph spent 13 seasons as an assistant under Gino Oriema at UConn. 7 seconds here for the Gators. And it's a shot clock violation. Vanderbilt's defense winning the battle.
When it comes to the SEC tournament this time of year, it's going to be the teams that can stay locked in through a full shot clock. Not just do it for part of the time and then there's a breakdown. So if both of these teams, that's what they're going to have to focus on, because both teams can be patient offensively and executing what they want. It's a team that breaks down defensively, losing that patience.
Cambridge for 3. Coming off a game where she scored her 1,000th career point on her senior day.
And coming into this, her final year, her 6th year, three-point shooting had not been her strength. But much improved this season from the three-point line.
I didn't play last year, missed last year with an Achilles injury.
Yeah, Cambridge is shooting 27%. She's made 41 threes. That's more than she made in her previous 4 seasons.
Aaliyah Matharu and Sasha Washington lost her balance. It's going to be Florida basketball. So Erin Kindred checks into the game for the Gators. Are we kind of surprised that we haven't seen Leilani Correa check in just yet?
Not the 5-minute mark yet. Courtney, be patient.
Okay.
I know you want to see it, but she'll be, look, There's going to be time. She's coming.
Into the corner with Matharu. When she's hot, you give her the basketball.
Absolutely. That's 9 points
In a row.
by Aaliyah Matharu.
Out of bounds off of Florida. Did she call corner pocket on this three?
Oh, absolutely. All day in advance. Stepped out, lined it up, and knocked it down.
Spent her first 2 years at Mississippi State, then followed Vic Schaefer to Texas. Now back in the SEC at Florida. And she's able to return next year if she wants to. Camille Pierre, no. Aaliyah Matharu off to a great start, Brooke.
Just doing fantastic work here and in the classroom as a graduate, the first one in her family to graduate from college. She's already got an internship, 150 hours that she's put in, and this is around classes, so just really getting it done. As she said, hey, my mom said, this degree means everything.
I love it. Working hard on and off the court.
You take advantage of it. It's paid for. And while you're getting to play a sport you love, take full advantage of it. She has.
So she will get a breather here as Zippy Broughton will set things up. Here's Birdie Rimdahl. Layla Reynolds. That was a heck of a move. Trying to pad the stat sheet too. 2 offensive boards in that possession.
Oh, no box out. And Florida has stayed relentless on the glass.
First foul against Sasha Washington of Vanderbilt.
Now I'm on a Correa watch because 5:35 on the clock. Is it after the 5-minute medium?
Now you need to calm down.
No. It's about Leilani time.
Florida's defense has really bothered Vanderbilt. 3 turnovers in the last 90 seconds.
Well, the thing you got to know when you're playing Vanderbilt, you got to take away the 3-point shot. So the defense has been extended by the Florida Gators to force the drive.
Oh, it went off the head of Zippy Broughton, but she got it back. Birdie Rimdahl. Off of Vanderbilt's knee.
Don't change it just because it's your routine. If what's working, what you have going on is working, what do they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
You know, and should Florida be able to advance on, well, Correa would be rested. Trying to find the silver lining.
Look at you. Hannah Moore right down the middle of the lane. She'll get the bucket and the blocking foul. It's the first against Aaliyah Matharu.
Yeah, the rotation over late. Yeah. Moore had already left the floor before Matharu was able to get there.
3-point play for Ayanna Moore.
And now Vanderbilt in a 1-2-2. 3-quarter court press.
Rimdahl back to Duke. Five seconds on the shot clock. Birdie Rimdahl, short on the 3, and Aaliyah Matharu gets the offensive rebound.
Is everywhere today.
Her motor is turned up. gets a stop. And that's going to be the second foul on Aaliyah Matharu. And if you're Vanderbilt, that's good news because she's been the one that's been killing you offensively.
But when Matharu goes out, here comes Leilani Correa.
So Leilani Correa, the 6th Woman of the Year in the SEC, into the game for the first time at the 244 mark. A player that's averaging 20 points per game her last 4 contests. Sasha Washington, her first bucket.
Now how quickly can Correa make her presence felt? Matharu in this first quarter, 11 points she had put up.
There she is, guarded by Cambridge. She'll take the 3. Jordan Oliver pushing. Little reverse, high up off the window, the transfer from Duke. And Florida wants to take a timeout.
Things coming together. I mean, there's a reason that they are playing today and not yesterday for the first time since 2011.
Yeah, they picked up their first bye in this tournament, their highest seed since 2011 when they were a 3 seed. But Vanderbilt has won 5 of its last 6 games, and again, the committee will look at how do you finish the season? What do you do in your last 10 contests?
Well, I think when you look at having a player on your team that is in national statistics in Jordan Cambridge, 3rd in steals, not in the SEC, but in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, that brings attention to your program. I think that the system that Shea Ralph has demonstrated, they're a team that can not only get in the tournament, but win a game or 2 in the tournament and advance.
Camille Pierre whistled for her first foul. Going to the basket, Leilani Correa, her first bucket tonight.
Correa is just one of those savvy players that can find the opening of right where the defense is going to open up, and she's able to cut there at the right time, at the right speed, in order to get an easy 2. Just that cut. She set up Ayana Moore flashing away from the basket, and then a quick cut right back to the ball.
And this is a player that started with 3 straight 30-plus point games to start the SEC season. She was like, hello, here I am, let's go.
She's always hunting buckets. You see where you watch her movement away from the ball.
23 in orange, there she goes. And this time a turnover. Aaliyah Matharu started this game off hot for Florida. She's got 11 points, but picked up 2 fouls, so she is on the bench for the Gators right now.
See, that's the tough part. As good as she is defensively, she gambles at times. And when she's demonstrated the offense she can bring, she just can't get, she's handcuffed, having to go sit on the bench. Can you imagine having time with her and Correa on the floor at the same time?
Woo! Spicy. 8 seconds here for the Commodores. Washington. Got good position, but a little too much on the layup. Florida can take the last shot of the quarter. Gators have shot 50% from the field in the opening 10 minutes.
You see, expect Correa, set a screen, get a screen. That's your shooter, number 23, that's on the block.
Zippy Broughton, open Main Street. Keep number 2 slowing her down, Aaliyah Matharu for Florida. She's got 11 points, but she's also on the bench with 2 fouls.
Now keep an eye on number 23 in orange.
Zippy Broughton's getting herself to the basket, though.
Well, Zippy is being speedy.
Zippity-doo-dah. I've been waiting 2 days.
I know you have been. But the quickness, because the defense has to respect Correa, Well, Zippy Broughton's taking full advantage of that. Anytime there's a driving lane, she's taking it.
Second foul whistled against Ayanna Moore of Vanderbilt. Gators going. Correa, transition three, no. Second life.
The 50-50 ball's going the way of the Gators. Zippy Broughton has been everywhere. Oh, that's a good hard hedge by keeping the ball one side by Cambridge.
Ayanna Moore is going to try some speed.
Yeah, but one thing that the Gators don't have, or I'm sorry, the Commodores don't have, is anybody rim running down the middle floor in transition. Everybody's running wide. Well, your shooters aren't going to be open running wide if there's nobody that's sprinting the floor down the middle. And that's one of the areas early in the season of watching Sasha Washington. She was running with the flow of her offense. There was a period of time later on where she started running ahead and really it was paying off. Now she's kind of gone back to just running with the flow. Well, that really doesn't open up the floor for anybody if you just keep the same pace as the ball.
Ayanna Moore has 8 to lead Vanderbilt. She will check out with those 2 fouls. Jordan Oliver back in the game for the Doors. And Lee Matharu also in the game for the Gators. She's got the ball right now and got those 2 fouls.
That's kind of risky by Kelly Ray Finley. And you've got a 4-point lead.
They skip it over to Correa, pulling up at the free throw line.
See, this time Sasha Washington ran the floor hard. Created an opportunity for Passat.
8th turnover, though, by Vanderbilt. Jordan Cambridge gets it back. She's got numbers. Over to Washington. And Jordan Cambridge will finish it off. 5 points for Jordan.
But you see number 3 in white is always involved in that interaction, that exchange. Head up, always getting involved defensively, Jordan Cambridge.
Erin Kindred off the mark.
See, Washington didn't run hard that time. That allows Florida's defense to get back and get set.
And a foul on Layla Reynolds, the freshman. It's about to be a turnover.
We did a Vanderbilt game about mid-February, and Shea Ralph talked about how she was going to try to use more of her bench. And in doing so that Jordan Cambridge and Ayanna Moore didn't have to play as many minutes, because when it gets to the 3rd, 4th quarter, a lot of times those young women, they're exhausted. You see how hard Jordan Cambridge plays, and Matharu right there to get it back.
Florida with a ton of numbers, but didn't get a shot up before Vanderbilt caught up.
Because Jordan Cambridge got back in the mix.
Matharu misses. Jordan Oliver doesn't have much help. Reynolds with the stuff.
Jordan Oliver gets the steal, trying to use that inside hand, the position she had. Use your left, use your left. That's an easy shot.
Next year. What a huge get.
I think that's a great move. I think Madison Scott could benefit for one more year before she takes it on to the professional next level. I mean, she's improved offensively. She's improved her knowledge of the game, her intensity. She's really harnessed her emotion into a positive direction, not that it was negative, but in the right direction. And I think that she is going to be a phenomenal player, even better next year.
8-0 run for Vanderbilt. Again, winner of this game gets Ole Miss tomorrow. And the Commodores using a little transition to get going. Oh, and a travel on Jordan Cambridge. It's an 8-0 run right now for Vandy.
Well, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of this second quarter. If you're going to run in transition, run. If you're going to set up, set up. But that middle speed, that gets you nothing.
I can't run free throw line to free throw line like you did.
Well, I was top of the key. I didn't get to the free throw line. And Vanderbilt battling on the boards right now. They're +4 over Florida.
Florida gets that rebound with Faith Duke, but the Gators haven't scored in almost 4 minutes. They've missed their last 8 shots.
Now, the biggest difference, the first time these two teams met in the regular season, Vanderbilt went to the free throw line 30 times. Florida only went 10.
Passat. No, Camille Pierre. Looking for the second chance points. No.
Layups. That's been the theme of the night. I just wonder, is it tightness from the pressure of being, first day in the SEC?
Yeah, Vanderbilt hasn't played. Florida got to play yesterday.
True.
But again, that scoring drought for the Gators creeping up to 5 minutes. Look at the Reynolds, it rolls out. Well, we were talking about you running top of the key to the top of the key. Was this one of those live shots of that?
Oh, no, that was on the photo shoot day because hair down. When I played, it was in a ponytail.
Was there a fan blowing in your face when they took this photo? Or
I'm just going to tell you, there wasn't a whole lot of ball handling because when it came to me, I was just going to shoot it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, maybe pass it to my friends. No.
Brooke, that's a top 10 photo of Peck that we've got right there.
The hair was flowing, though.
You just take a look at the wingspan right there, too. I know, Peck, literally your fingers are almost touching the ground, let alone dribbling the basketball.
Oh, I was a shot blocker, no doubt, Brooke. You need to recognize that. Absolutely.
Tell me about those shorts, though. What are we working with right there? Those are like in today, though, with all the shorts.
Well, back in the day, they were polyester, so I had to do aerobics in the locker room in order for them to be presentable before I came out on the court.
Warm up those glutes, baby. Let's go.
That's amazing. Gators back on top thanks to guess who? Aaliyah Matharu. Yes, I did rhyme.
Well, listen, look, in her anticipation, she is trying to steal the basketball every time she can.
Remember, she's got to be careful. She's got 2 fouls. Can't stop, won't stop.
All gas, no brakes. Number 2 in orange.
Points for Aaliyah Matharu. She's already passed her total from their last game against Missouri where she had 14. Well, that one goes over the backboard.
Aaliyah Matharu has been locked in and on point since this game started. It started with her defense taking a charge, and then she's brought her offense. She had 9 straight points, went to the bench, came back in, and picked right up where she left off.
And she'll go back over to the bench now with 16 points, 7 of 9 from the field. And again, she's been playing smart, hasn't picked up her 3rd foul.
And Vanderbilt in a zone.
Up and in from Jariah Warren. A 7-0 run for the Gators now.
See Vanderbilt trying to force it inside with Amaya Moore on the bench right now.
That's 12 turnovers now by the Commodores. Zippy. Up to 7 for her.
These big lineups not really working for Vanderbilt. Passat's not been able to get in a rhythm for her shot.
They haven't scored in 4 minutes. Can Cambridge fix it? No, but an offensive rebound. Seven seconds for Vandy. That's going to be an offensive foul on Justine Passat, her first.
Right now, the defensive intensity favors the Florida Gators. They have been able to dictate what they want to take away from the Commodores, putting pressure on, getting them out of sync, in the same process, clogging the paint and having to kick the ball out.
And this is a Florida team that's been working on that defense. They haven't been the strongest defensive team this year. They're 13th, which is second to last in the SEC in scoring defense
tonight. And I thought that Florida looked really good in their defense yesterday.
Kenza Salgas. Now it's a 10-point lead for Florida and a 12-0 run.
When it gets to be tournament time, you put your focus on the defensive side, because you will start, when you start getting stops, you start building confidence, you start feeling success, and then it just snowballs to the offensive end.
Second foul whistled against Ernie Kindred. Vanderbilt right now 0 for 7. They've had 4 turnovers during that time in the last 5 minutes.
Vanderbilt's really missing having Ayana Moore on the floor.
She's on the bench with 2 fouls.
That's 14 points a game. A 3-point threat. Headsy decision maker that's having to take a seat. It's a tough angle for Jada Brown, trying to get the ball to Washington.
Oliver to inbound. And 2 shots coming for Cambridge. And fouls on Zippy Broughton.
See, Jordan Cambridge, once again, showing the smarts that she has. She understood that next foul, she was going to be able to go put her team in the bonus and finish this quarter.
This is the first. Vanderbilt has only scored 8 points here in the second quarter. Missed them both, so the 5+ minute scoring drought continues.
When I think it,
And Camille Pierre was just whistled for her second foul. Ernie Kindred stepping up.
well, Vanderbilt still has a foul to give.
A minute to go in the half. Florida has built a 10-point lead thanks to a 12-0 run. Kindred working on Washington. And it's going to be over and back as Jada Brown lost it. So 22.7 seconds for Florida to try to add to this lead, and it's a 6-minute drought for Shea Ralph's team.
And Florida now, they can hold it to take the last shot. The defense for Florida has been the difference. They brought the intensity, They're playing assignments.
They forced Vanderbilt into 14 turnovers in this first half. They scored 17 points off of those. Correa trapped. 7 seconds for Zippy. And Sasha Washington fouls her. Her second.
But Vanderbilt had a foul to give. But you don't want Sasha Washington picking up her second foul.
Correa overshoots. But Vanderbilt doesn't score for the final 6.5 minutes. Aaliyah Matharu certainly lit it up in the first half. 16 points, 7 of 9 from the field to lead all scorers in this game.
Aaliyah Matharu with 16 first half points on 2 fouls. What was that trust like to keep her in the game?
She's a baller. What can you say? I trust her. We played a lot of minutes together. She's an elite point guard. She's got great body control. She knows how to play with fouls.
I saw you just grab Leilani Correa and give her a message. What was that?
Yo, those are great shots. They're going to fall. Keep shooting the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Keep in mind, this is such an important game for Vanderbilt. Charlie Cream has them as the last 4 in. We'll get to pick his brain a little bit. He'll be joining us shortly here in the third quarter.
I think that what's going to be important for Vanderbilt, one, to try to get back into this game and go after the win, but 2, you need style points. And that first half wasn't very pretty. And you're missing layups, you're turning the ball over, so you have 2 more quarters to try to clean things up.
Camille Pierre immediately going to the free throw line, gets the second foul on Faith Duke.
Free throws, Vanderbilt right now, 4 of 8.
1 of 2 drop in for Camille Pierre. First points in over 6.5 minutes for the Commodores. Eight seconds from Matharu. Back the other way, Ayana Moore is back in. She had to sit a lot of that second quarter because of foul trouble.
Oh, that one looked online.
Matharu going to the free throw line. She's fouled by Cambridge. Her first.
Kelly Ray Friendly talked about how good Matharu is, an experienced point guard, and she came in ready for this tournament.
And last year, Aaliyah Matharu had to sit out after transferring from Texas, where she was an All-Big 12 honorable mention. Vic Schaefer recruited her out of high school to Mississippi State, spent 2 seasons there, then followed him to Texas. Vanderbilt looking towards the other postseason, the big dance, and they're trying to make the tournament for the first time since 2014, currently projected as that last 4 in by Charlie Cream.
Oh, that was a big move. But Camille Pierre has struggled to finish, and she's definitely struggled from the free throw line. 50%, she's getting there. Now just to get the finish. I just wonder if Vanderbilt's feeling that pressure. I want to be in the tournament so bad. And sometimes that can really have you locked up. And you got to just play free, because when they play free, they're really, really good. And right now, the pressure of Florida, I think the pressure of this tournament has things a little bit stagnant, not as free-flowing.
Meanwhile, Florida looks very comfortable here. Again, they got to play yesterday, beat Missouri by 6 points, so had experience on this floor. Sometimes we see that help.
Absolutely. You know, you get those first game jitters out of the way playing on the first day. And Florida's got depth, so fatigue is not really going to be a factor for them as well.
Jordan Cambridge taking a seat with 2 fouls. And Matharu keeps on climbing. 19 points. Make it 20 for the 13th time this season.
Wow. She only averages 18. She had 16 in the first half.
Vanderbilt still, their last field goal came at the 6:30 mark of the second quarter. Oh, Matharu! When you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Well, why she's being successful is she's using her speed. Coming in transition, driving to the basket. But her quickness has been tough for the defense to keep up with.
And finally, Vanderbilt has a field goal. First one since the 6:30 mark in the second quarter. They only scored 8 points in that second quarter. Faith Duke for 2. Made it look easy.
I mean, that was nothing but the bottom of the net right there.
The handoff to Washington.
Now, Vanderbilt is in its zone, but at times they'll go through with cutters. And it has not fazed Florida. Florida just continues to run their stuff.
Aga Maharat. Short.
She's just using her speed. Matharu again.
Vanderbilt ball off of this.
You see Matharu, just speed. Get to your spot and knock it down. And then Faith Dutt. That's pretty. When 6'4" is pulling the trigger up top, things are going well for your team playing in the second round of the SEC tournament.
Faith Duke with 4 points, 3 rebounds. Seconds. And Vanderbilt runs out of time. Had to scramble on the floor for the ball and didn't realize where the shot clock was at.
Yeah, when you come out of the locker room from halftime, you would think maybe you get reorganized. It just doesn't seem like, maybe I'm wrong. Camille Pierre ready to turn it up for the Commodores.
The steal, the score, the freshman.
Look, she was a soccer player in high school, so she can run all day. Fatigue will not be a factor for Camille Pierre.
And this is only her 5th year of organized basketball, and she's already a member of the SEC all-freshman team. Warren weaving through the defense. This is going to be Florida basketball. Warren giving the hustle on the defensive end too.
I'm going to see that foul.
Yeah, that's the 3rd on Camille Pierre.
Because she was trying to catch the basketball. How do you foul and catch at the same time? Maybe a frustration because of the interception. This zone is a combination man and zone. They're switching everything on the perimeter, keeping Washington inside. Ooh.
Kendrick quick to pop up. And Vanderbilt will take control of the ball here. Florida used a 12-0 run at the end of the second quarter to jump ahead by 10 at the half, and they have been in control ever since.
Leah Matharu playing with those 2 fouls. Kelly Rae Finley trusting her experience to put Matharu back on the floor.
Ayana Moore through the paint. And Matharu's heading back over to the scorer's table to check in.
Matharu just gets to come out of the game long enough to get a sip of water, and she's going right back to the table.
When you got 22 points through 3 quarters, get back in the game. 13th game with 20 or more points this season, tied for the second most in the SEC. That's pretty good company. Angel Reese, the SEC Player of the Year. Matharu running with Rimdahl, doesn't need help. 24 points for Aaliyah.
Just pushing in transition. They got to find a way. Vanderbilt has to find a way to try to slow down. You got to find Matharu early in transition. You can't let her get ahead of steam.
Camille Pierre waiting to check in for the Commodores. Here's Washington taking her time, making it work. Swiped by Moore.
Vanderbilt needs a bucket on this possession. Ooh! A little too much from Moore.
Foul on Jordan Cambridge.
Vandy's been a pretty steady, consistent team all season. They weathered that losing streak they had when they really got to the tough part of their schedule and have played better down the stretch, tonight notwithstanding.
Well, who would be a team, Charlie, that we need to keep an eye on that may vie for changing the positioning or making Vanderbilt vulnerable to fall out of being in the tournament?
I think the most likely bid-stealing conference out there is the Ivy League, where Columbia can win that, beat Princeton, jump into the field, because Princeton's going to make the field one way or the other. Columbia probably not. They're another bubble team. But Vanderbilt's resume, I think, is better than Columbia's, and A&M's would be better than Columbia's. So if Princeton wins that league, keeps it to 1, that's good for these SEC bubble teams. They also would like Green Bay to win the Horizon. Green Bay I have in as the last team in right now, but there's 2 teams from the Horizon. Green Bay isn't at large as we talk today. If they win that tournament, they're the automatic qualifier. There's nobody else coming out of that league isn't at large. So that actually puts another team available for the at-large. So it actually makes the cushion for Vanderbilt, A&M, Mississippi State even greater. So the news isn't certainly all bad here. It's just when you're Mississippi State and you're Vanderbilt and you're playing this way and your only opportunity in the postseason to show the committee what you can do, it definitely has to hurt a little bit.
So on the graphic that was up, Vanderbilt had a 56 net. And that was probably the worst of the other 3
It is.
that were up there. What does that mean?
Well, I'll give the committee credit. They've always said that the NAT, or previously the RPI, was just an organizing tool, and it really has been that. They're not going off this number and making that the end-all, be-all for any team's resume. So the 56 isn't a big deal for Vanderbilt. I think what matters most is their consistency, what we talked about, the fact that they do have a winning record in the SEC. Historically, that tells us that team's going to make the NCAA tournament. I think it's only happened once in 20 years that a team finished with a winning record in the league and didn't make the tournament. It's more coincidental, I think, than anything else, or just it speaks to the quality of the SEC. But that's what's happened historically, and Vanderbilt has done that this year. And that's super helpful when we're talking conference record is one of those pieces of criteria, and having a winning record in a power league is a valuable thing.
Hey, Charlie, we appreciate your time. We'll be looking forward to that 4 a.m. email that you normally send us with an update of everything.
The way the Pac-12's going today, it might be even later than that.
Oh, goodness. Well, then I'll catch it in the morning.
Yeah. Charlie Cream, our ESPN bracketologist here at the SEC tournament. Vanderbilt on a 7-1 run right now.
Oh, commenters may give the committee something nice to think about. They can sustain and continue to build as they cut into the lead.
Yeah, Moore had a big 3 on their last possession, and then Camille Pierre saw an opening, took it.
And did you see her after she made the bucket, looked up and was like, let's go. This young freshman is here to compete.
They have cut it to 5. Florida has led by as many as 15. Nice pass from Brittany Rimdahl over to Kindred.
Vanderbilt needs to continue to look, playing through number 12, the freshman, Camille Pierre.
She's at the top of your screen. Ayana Moore's going to come off the screen. Matharu gone.
Untouched. That says just unacceptable. Never had to turn, never changed directions. The defense has got to get a stop.
Kim Mulkey's second season. We'll get to see LSU tomorrow. They're the 2 seed. They will take on Auburn for a 3rd time this year.
Oh. And we called both of those, now the 3rd tomorrow.
Can't wait.
I know. That's going to be fun.
And we'll see all the top 4 seeds debut at the SEC tournament tomorrow. Camille Pierre is trying to take Vanderbilt on her back and will them back into this game. And Florida can take the final shot of the 3rd quarter.
But who is going to match up with Aaliyah Matharu?
Right now it's Jordan Cambridge.
She's got 26 points.
2 away from her career high. I'm glad we didn't have to participate because I had sleepy eyes.
Well, I was over here just trying to stretch to watch what was going on.
They made a Sweet 16 run last year.
They upset Stanford.
Yeah, on their home floor. They had a traveling violation on Zippy Broughton. So what changed for Vanderbilt in that 3rd quarter? They were able to outscore Florida 18-17.
The pace picked up, the aggressiveness, especially from Camille Pierre. I think just running the floor. I think Vanderbilt's just moving at a medium pace, and a sense of urgency kicked in that 3rd quarter.
They've trailed by as many as 15 tonight. Again, Vanderbilt trying to add to that resume to get in the NCAA tournament. Right now, Florida not in the field. Five seconds, Ayana Moore elevates. No. Sasha Washington grabbed the board. And that's an offensive foul. Ayana Moore lowered her shoulder.
That's the 2nd charge drawn by Aaliyah Matharu. She has Moore scouted well, can anticipate the driving action, and gets herself over there, establishes legal guarding position, got Moore into some trouble.
Yeah, that's the 3rd foul on Ayana Moore. Matharu off the mark.
Now see, Sasha Washington, she's got to run. She ran even with Jordan Cambridge. If she runs hard, Jordan Oliver's open in the corner.
Layla Reynolds misses the one-handed layup. The But give it to Pierre. She's got 10 points.
Well, and she has Matharu on her. There's a huge size advantage. They got to find a way to get it to her. There you go.
There it is, the pass from the top inside to Camille Pierre, and she gets fouled.
The recognition by the freshman to know she had a smaller player on her. Instead of stepping out, she kept her positioning, even got better position inside so that lob pass could be there, and she could get the easy two.
That's the third foul on Aaliyah Matharu. You know, talking to Camille Pierre, very even emotionally. Doesn't show a lot of facial expressions, just goes out, takes care of her business.
She's got a confidence about her now.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. Little sass. When we asked her about playing basketball, she said that soccer was her first love, but a couple of coaches said, you might want to stick with soccer. You're not going to be good at basketball. So she said, well, I just went out and proved to them that I could.
Yeah, gave up soccer.
I love it.
She's like, yeah, I'm going to be a great basketball player. And then got a scholarship to Vanderbilt.
Right?
Jeez. She was the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year. Second most SEC tournament titles behind Tennessee's 17. And there's so many things that could scare you about South Carolina. I picked their depth.
Their depth, their dominance in the post, they're able to shoot the three. Here's the concern that I have for South Carolina. The last few games, they've gotten off to slow starts. And in a tournament, it's not guaranteed to bounce back. So I think it's ultra important every team get off to a good start, be able to maintain that for 4 quarters.
Sasha Washington had 2 looks at it and couldn't finish. Matharu has tied her career high, 28 points. And a new career high for Matharu. Make it 30.
Wow. I mean, she is a one-woman wrecking crew right now against Vanderbilt's defense.
Came into this game like a wrecking ball. Don't roll your eyes.
Okay, Miley Cyrus. Vanderbilt had creeped in as close to as 5-7 points, but Florida has found an answer. And more times than not, the answer is number 2 in orange, Aaliyah Matharu.
Cambridge up at the top, 10 seconds to work with. For 2 here, no. Matharu has 30 points. The rest of Florida has 23. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Oh, nice cut.
Zippy Broughton, the pass from Jariah Warren.
Well, see, that's what the Aaliyah Matharu effect is, because she's been such a threat. Defenses spread the floor to cover her. And then Zippy zipped on that backdoor cut.
Ten points for Sasha Washington.
Oh, that's a double dribble. And Matharu again, really untouched. She's finding a seam on that left side, and then Warren finding Zippy Broughton on the backdoor cut because the defense is so worried about Matharu out on the perimeter.
As they should be, 30 points later.
I mean, she came into this game on fire. And I think it all started with that first defensive play of the game, not worried about making the first shot, but getting the first stop.
And she's got 3 steals tonight, too.
3 steals. Is it 2 or 3 charges that she's taken on the night?
I think 2. Pretty good. 8 rebounds.
And she is how tall? 5'7"?
It doesn't matter.
It does not. She's got the heart. Look, it is win or go home. And the Florida Gators are trying to stay around.
You heard Charlie Cream say a loss for Vanderbilt doesn't necessarily knock them out of the tournament running. They're right now in the last 4 in as an 11 seed.
Well, there's plenty of time, but they're going to have to find a way to get stops.
And they can't leave Matharu wide open by herself. 33.
Yeah, if there's one person on the floor you don't leave, it's Matharu.
It's the most SEC tournament points since Renaya Davis had 33 points for Tennessee against Ole Miss in 2021. Vanderbilt calls timeout, down by 10, 3:25 to go. 33 points tonight.
I think the key has been the speed of Aaliyah Matharu. She's used that to her advantage. How many times does she go untouched from one end, about 90 feet from one end to the other, and nobody stops her. Nobody can stop her. And then the three.
By herself.
Hello.
Alone.
You got to find her. That's the one player in the orange uniform you cannot lose sight of. But she's a gamer. I mean, we've seen her step up in many big games from her days at Mississippi State to Texas. Look at this. Her quickness.
Nobody there was there to get it.
But just a heads-up play to understand, like throw it away from your basket where Vanderbilt has to take the ball out and you can get your defense set.
Four steals now from Matharu. Short on the three. Jordan Oliver trying the other side. Makes her way around to the SEC logo.
All right, that cuts it to 8. Now, Vanderbilt just cannot allow Florida to use a lot of clock.
They got to know where Aaliyah Matharu is at all times, too.
And Vanderbilt only has fouled once, so they've got 3 fouls to give in order to put Florida at the free throw line. Try to extend this game, extend possessions.
8 seconds. This is a 2 from Matharu. Faith Dude on the glass. Jordan Oliver swiped it, though. Bucket of the foul. Ayanna Moore.
Hang on, this thing ain't over. The steal by Oliver, saving it inbounds. And then Camille Pierre, smart, giving it up, finding Ayanna Moore. She gets the 2 and a trip to the free throw line.
And that's going to be a 4th foul on Faith Duke. She's 4 for 4 tonight from the free throw line.
Look, it's a 2-possession game.
Vanderbilt has 1 timeout, Florida with 2. When do you start fouling if you're Vanderbilt?
Not yet. Oh!
Matharu had a block, but Vanderbilt got the second chance points. Closest since it was 25-22.
Yeah, it's still just a 1-possession game. Vanderbilt does not have to, they don't have to foul.
But they did. Jordan Oliver whistled for the foul.
Well, but here's the thing. Vanderbilt has fouls to give.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and foul now, as opposed to it gets down under a minute and you may need to foul in order to get Florida to the free throw line.
And the good news, if you're Vanderbilt, that wasn't a shooting foul.
Correct.
Did you see that? Tricky. Aaliyah Matharu bounced it off the backside of the defender. Just make it 35 points for her tonight.
Matharu has just had some heads-up plays, like saving the basketball, throwing it toward her own basket, off the backside of Sasha Washington, underneath, out of bounds. Never turn your back to the inbounder. Just like a toss back right there. That's an easy two. Washington could have very easily been called for a foul.
It'll rattle in for Cambridge. 4-point game here.
Still, Vanderbilt's got 2 fouls to give.
One possession game. Florida has led by as many as 15 tonight. And a timeout's called. Here comes Matharu up at the top of the key. They get it into Zippy Broughton. And Camille Pierre fouls Broughton. Not a shooting foul. That's the 4th on Pierre. Vanderbilt with 1 foul to give. 38 seconds.
But you have 20 seconds on the shot clock. So if you can get a stop, you don't necessarily still have to foul right now. Ooh, Jordan Cambridge almost got that.
Stays with Florida. She is Vanderbilt's career steals leader.
Okay, I thought that went off Aaliyah Matharu.
The out-of-bounds ruling is under review.
Oh, no, it went off Jordan Cambridge's toe.
It went between Matharu's legs, I think.
Yeah, but it hits Cambridge's toe on the crossover, and then it never touches Matharu again.
The out-of-bounds ruling on the floor. Call stands. Stands is called. Set the game clock to 35.0 seconds.
Saugus to rebound. Or to inbound, excuse me. Camille Pierre takes it away. The step around the bug and the finish. Vanderbilt down by 1. And Florida will call timeout. Pierre with 16.
The gamble, the goal for the steal, the pressure. The freshman keeps, handles, and hits the layup and pulls the Commodores within 1.
Adding to her 4th double-double of her freshman campaign. It's a 1-point game.
They want to foul Faith.
Broughton on the run, trying to stay away. And there is a foul. It's on Jordan Cambridge. That's her 4th, and Vanderbilt has no more fouls to give. The next one will send Florida to the free throw line. Keep in mind, Florida's got to get this in. They don't have any timeouts. And now Faith Duke will be shooting. And you mentioned it, just a 67% free throw shooter.
And Vanderbilt has 1 timeout left.
You would assume they take it and advance the ball here?
Oh, absolutely.
Stute misses the first.
But the first thing, Vanderbilt's got to make sure that they secure the rebound.
Shea Ralph takes her final timeout.
And get a winner at the free throw line.
She's got 15 points in the second half. Here's Cambridge. Sasha Washington, no. Florida's got the basketball. And Vanderbilt fouls. Jordan Oliver fouling Florida, 11.8 on the clock. That will put the Gators at the free throw line.
The look was there. The backdoor cut by Sasha Washington. She just wasn't able to finish. And then Oliver had to foul because Florida was going to be off and running.
Zippy Broughton makes it a 4-point game. Or a 3-point game.
A three could tie it. There's no timeout.
They gotta hurry. Ayanna Moore creating space for herself. And a hope goes up for Vanderbilt, but it's not answered. Florida coming out with the win. They move on to the quarterfinals. The first time they have won 2 SEC tournament games since 1997.
Wow, a career high for you, young lady. You came into this game on another level. You started strong. What was your mentality?
My team, man, we've been through so much this far, and just injuries, dealing with people being out and not being able to have a full squad. And my girls, man, I hate going to the locker room, seeing them down, but they are the motivation. My teammates, they keep me going. They keep me pumped up. They keep me in a healthy, positive mind space. It's all for them, man, honestly.
What is it about this team defensively that you guys can find a way to dig? You're taking charges out there leading the way.
I mean, just knowing that I'm the spark, I start everything on defense, and my teammates, they've grown to love it. You know, we have a lot of offensive players that are really, really good, but just being able to know that when I take a charge, it's going to get the rest of the team fired up. So every game, I try to do that as often as I can.
All right, so you got Ole Miss, a team that's just rocking and rolling here in the SEC. Give me a couple of keys you feel like you need to beat the Rebels.
Defense, rebounding, and just staying together as a team. I mean, you see what we can do that any night. So,
no doubt. All right, well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Coach, where's your heart rate at right now? We were just asking
It's just coming down.
Walk us through the final few minutes of this one for your team.
Well, first I got to say, if it wasn't like that, it wouldn't be a Florida women's basketball game this season.
Are you
for
okay?
Those of us.
Are you okay, Kelly?
I don't know. I think I've aged a little bit, but it's going to be all right. It's to be expected, but that was toughness and grit and fight. And for those of you that aren't sure if Aaliyah Mathar was a pro, I don't know, go back and run the game back.
I mean, I'm looking at her ability to just break down the defense time and time again. She's crafty, she's quick, she's just very poised when you need her late game, and then if you need her to knock down a three, she's doing that. She's doing whatever you've asked of her, and then she's laying on the line for you defensively as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Those that know me know that I speak with a lot of truth and honesty, and to not be, to be top 5 in scoring in the conference and top 5 in steals and not make any All-SEC, she takes that personally. And we as a program do too, and I think she showed tonight why she's one of the best players in the league.
How did you get her to channel that motivation in a positive way? I've been critical of her of just fouling and then fouling out of games and kind of putting you guys in a bind, right? Her best offense is staying on the floor.
Yeah.
But getting her to be able to finish out games and channel that here at the tournament, knowing that she felt snubbed.
Yeah, Aaliyah has worked tirelessly on being a point guard. When she came to us, it was not something that she had trained a lot. And so ball screen reads, film breakdown, I mean, all season long, and in the season of the past, when she sat out, she studied. She isn't perfect. She wouldn't claim to be, but she's a learner. She wants to be better. And the fierce competitor that you see is exactly who she is. And so sometimes that fire gets channeled, but like we talk a lot about, we would never want to train that out of her. It's what makes her elite at what she does.
Well, she also talked a lot about this is for her teammates. She talks about them in her press in the interview after the game. She just really pours into this team. Talk about her leadership for you.
Yeah, she's the engine that makes us go. I think I said that yesterday. Her competitive fire is unmatched, and she gives us a confidence and a fearlessness that says, in those last timeouts, listen, this is our game. We're not going to lose this. You understand? Follow me, and we're going to get the job done.
What won this game for you guys?
Heart. Layla Reynolds, she did a little funny thing the other day, and put your left hand in. Everyone's like, wow, put your left hand in. She said, because that's over your heart. It just means more. When you play with your heart, you get a different ball club out there. And it's been hard for us to learn how to win this season. But we know we're a talented team, and we have a lot of heart.
Hey, you mentioned some of those close games that we've seen throughout the regular season, Ole Miss being one of those, right? Now you get them coming up tomorrow. What stands out about the last matchup that you will harp on over the next 24 hours before tomorrow?
Oh, man, we won't harp on it, but it was heartbreak. Aaliyah made for those of you that watched it, she made a great play. It was a full team effort. She had got the and one, we were up, and we gave up a great shot to Marquisha Davis, who's a heck of a player. Madison Scott, two of the best players in the league. But it was a gritty, tough battle, and that's what we expect.
Leilani Correa was a little bit quiet in today's game, but does it speak to maybe the balance and maybe the toughness of this Gators team, that it's not an easy out? I mean, considering Correa didn't necessarily score that much today?
Yeah, and that's not going to happen very often. So I'd expect her to have a great bounce-back game tomorrow.
Well, there you go. You got two games underneath your belt right now, and it looks like your team is not trying to go home.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want to keep playing. We feel like, in terms of the NCAA tournament, we had put ourselves in position early on with the win over Michigan and some other good wins. And we maybe fell short by a possession. I think we totaled it up. It's 8 possessions. That's heartbreak, and so we got to go earn it back.
Coach, what do you think that locker room is going to be like when you get back there after you're done here?
I think they'll be excited.
It's going to be a fun Friday. Go celebrate with your team. Thank you for stopping by. I know there's a lot of work ahead of you, but we will see you back here tomorrow.
Thank you.